Hey Joey, what's going on, man? How are you? Who else here? Who's all here? Joe, you doing good, man? You always tuning in. Always tuning in. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So, Eddie, what's going on, man? How you doing? How you doing, man? How you doing? Um, I just want to come on here and talk real quick, a few minutes about my new global partnership with my Korean partners over there at Sound Republica in Seoul, Korea. And how excited I am to have a new vehicle to be able to help um, independent creatives, you know, establish a market in in Korea. So I'm excited about that. So I wanted to, talk briefly about that. Um, my friends over there, Marty Rowe and Terry Kim, are great people who are really excited about exposing the artists I work with to the Korean market. What's going on, Jimmy? How you doing? So, Korea, just to let you guys kind of know, Korea is one of the fastest growing markets in the world right now. And so, just as far as retail value, sorry guys, sorry about that. Just as far as retail value, man, Korea has grown exponentially over the last 5 years. Um, in total retail value, from 2012, they had grossed $187.5 million. And in 2013, it bumped up. And at that time, they have the global rank of 11. So in 2013, that raised up to $211 million. 97.2 of that was physical, and the other 109.9 million was digital. Okay, and then obviously in 2014, it raised again, according to my numbers here, $265 million in total retail value. 101 of that was physical, and 154 was digital. So as you can see, over there in Korea, the digital market, the DSPs, the digital service providers, are really the name of the game. And they have their own platforms as well, which I'll get into that in a few minutes. 2015, it grew up again, went to 281 total 0.3 in total revenue. 87.2 of that was physical. 174.4 million of that was digital. Okay. They grossed $19.7 million in performance revenue. So as you can see, man, people show up to shows over there. People show up. So a lot of artists are always so about, I gotta be big here in the States. I gotta be big here. They don't understand, man, that there's opportunities all over the world. What's going on, Candace? What's going on, Johnny? My man George, Dorian, Shamel. What's going on? I'm just kind of going over some information to let people kind of know how the Korean market is currently working and how much they have moved up in global rank pretty much every year for the past 5, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So 2012, they were ranked at 11. 2013, they were ranked at number 10. 2014, they jumped up 2 spots, ranked at number 8. 2015 and 16, they stayed at 8. And in 2017, they moved all the way up to number 6. And so currently, they're the sixth. They're the 6th largest market in retail value in the world. So, it's, as you guys can see, it's a fastly growing market out there. So 2016, they grossed $330 million in total retail value. 198.1 of that was digital, and 115.5 million of that was physical. So we can see that, you know, there is a lot of buying potential in Korea, right? And in 2017, which is the last year of data that I have for this particular piece of information, 2017, so that was, they grossed $494.4 million in total retail value. 291 of that was digital revenue, and then $182.9 million to 2017, guys. So there's clearly a buying market here in Korea. So I'm really excited about what's going on, Lester. How you doing? I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with that. So obviously, you know, it's K-pop mostly, but they have a lot of songs. They love all genres of music there. In 2017, the #1 song that was non-K-pop was Ed Sheeran, Shape of You, obviously Justin Bieber. So they very much into pop. They like all genres there, guys. So this is a really great market to really establish yourself into as a creative, right? So give me a second here, guys. Just trying to go over some of the stuff. And their YouTube views, Lewis, house music market, I don't have that information, but I'll find that out for you. They had 5.4 billion views on Luis Fonsi's Despacito record. 5.4 billion views on YouTube. Okay. Wiz Khalifa, To See You Again, featuring Charlie Puth, 3.7 billion views. Okay. Ed Sheeran, Shape of You, again, 3.7 billion views. And the Gangnam Style record is 3.1 billion views. So as you guys can see, like I said, this is a large market. This is not you know, a small area where people aren't consuming music on a regular basis, right? So I just kind of wanted to give some of those numbers out. So in South Korea, they don't do a lot of They don't do a lot of the traditional DSPs that we do over here in America. So the DSPs that they do is called, they have a few of them on my list here. Bugs, Bugs, Soribada, Mnet, Melon, Genie, Naver Music, and Monkey Free. So those are the main DSPs there. So again, these are a lot of platforms that that you see here in the States. The cool thing about my partners over there at Sound Republica is that they actually go out there and do the work. They promote and market the music. So they actually put a lot of their artists in the Korean newspapers, on the blogs, on on the heavy on social media in Korea, as well as Instagram and the popular things there, guys. So it's real traction. It's real opportunities here to be seen and heard. And obviously, the more traction you have, the more opportunities present themselves for artists, man. So I'm really excited about the opportunity. I'm really excited about the opportunity that I have with Sound Republica and the fact that they believe in the artists I work with. They believe in what I do. And I'm really excited. They're actually the official partner of Abbey Road Studios in the UK. So that's a well-known studio in the UK. So it's really exciting to get a chance to work with them. So I'm really looking forward to helping artists who are serious about expanding their global footprint, artists who understand that, even if you may not be the biggest artist in America, you have other opportunities to get seen and heard in other parts of the world. And that's always been, anybody that knows what I do knows that I've always preached that the world is a big, big place, and the opportunities are endless for being able to get seen and heard. That'll lead to other opportunities, right? So kind of like I said, guys, I just want to come on here and kind of tell you guys, give you guys a little bit of the information so that y'all know how the opportunities that could possibly present themselves. Not only, and when my partners, not only do we work within the DSPs, but we also work within getting your stuff in what they call synchronization, music sync. So that's anytime we're actually taking your music and syncing it to video, syncing it to movies, syncing it to television show, mobile apps, video games, anything of that nature. So there's opportunities as well to generate revenue that way. Not only just through digital streaming, but through a case-by-case basis when it comes to your actual song, generating revenue that way. So there's so many opportunities to get heard. So like I said, I just wanted to come on here and then spend a few minutes, guys, let you guys know if you guys are serious about wanting to possibly get your music distributed through me, and you do have to own the rights to your music, okay? If you don't own the rights to your music, we're not going to be able to license the music. You have to, I will be presenting an agreement that basically shows and proves that you own the 100% of the rights to your music, that you have the rights to license your music. Because if you don't have the rights to license your music, then obviously, think of it like, if you're an artist watching this, if you're renting a house, you can't rent a house that you don't own the rights, that you don't own outright, right? So think of your music that way too. So if you're wanting to license your music to third-party companies or to in other countries, you have to be able to have the permission from the producers and the rights holders that allow you to do so, right? So. What's going on, Carolyn? What's going on, Rhonda, David, William Nettles? Hey, Ben, how you doing? But yeah, guys, that's really what I wanted to share. I mean, if something you're interested in doing, definitely reach out to me privately. We can talk and see if this might be a good fit for you. But I'll be willing to answer any questions that you have. If anybody has any questions, I'm more than welcome, more than willing to answer them right now, guys. So definitely, the floor is open right now for any questions that anybody might have. So, hey Nell, how you doing? I was just talking about my new partnership with my partners over there at Sound Republica, who are going to be distributing the artists that I work with to their DSPs over there in South Korea. Like I said, they don't do they have their own DSPs over there. Like I said, they have Genie and Naver and Bugs and Melon and things of that nature. So it's a totally different platform. The more visuals, I'll say this too, the more visuals that I can send over for promotion, the better it is. So there's really great opportunities, man. There's great opportunities to be heard and seen and to gain new fans because this is about fans, 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 and more fans. That's the name of the game. Not about getting a record deal. So it's really about when you have fans and people that care and people that show up, people that buy and purchase stuff globally. So there's really great opportunities ahead, guys. Like I said, man, there's a lot of buying power in Korea. People spend money over there. You're not trying to get it for free. They will purchase it. They will buy it. So I'm definitely excited about helping people, helping artists. If you're serious about it, reach out to me privately, and we can talk. Definitely. Hey, thank you so much, Will. Appreciate it. Lester, okay, yeah, definitely shoot me a message. Definitely shoot me a message. No, we have to do lunch. We have to do lunch very, very, very soon. Um, so I'm looking forward to that. Who's all still here? Message me. Message, send us comment if you're still here, guys. Because it says we only have 3 watching, but I think there's more than 3 people here. So if you're still here, send me a message. Not send a message, but comment. So yeah, man, that's well, I have a passion for helping new artists, helping them expand globally. And so I think when they can see that fans all over the world will support their music, fans all over the world who will purchase their music, who will support them, um, it is really, really, really awesome. It's really awesome. And it's like I said, it's all genres of music. I'm taking all genres of music, everything. So whatever you do and you're serious about it, we'll send it on through. So cool. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I appreciate your time. Maybe I'll jump on here again for those who missed it. Maybe I'll jump on here again, maybe in a couple of hours. If not, I'll definitely jump back on here again and kind of go over this information. Kemper connected in the ATL. Absolutely, man. That's my guy. Kemper Jones is my guy. I appreciate him. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Lisa, for if you just missed it, if you just tuned in, I'm kind of just on here talking to you about my new partnership with Sound Republica in South Korea. They're based in Seoul, and they are going to be partnering with me in helping the artists that I work with and promote to get established in the Korean market Korea right now is the sixth largest music market in the world as far as the globalized rank. Right, so they just in 2017 alone, I'll kind of go back over the numbers for those of you, for anybody who's just kind of jumping back on, but just in 2017 alone, they generated over over $494.4 million in overall retail value. 291.7 million of that was digital revenue or value, and then 182.9 of that was physical, which means they still do purchase CDs there. So other parts of the world, they still purchase physical forms. Well, I'm assuming that's probably CD and vinyl combined. So this is a very large buying power in Korea. So it's opportunities. Opportunities. If you're an artist here, and you're serious about, expanding globally, then please reach out to me and let's talk, because this is really a great opportunity to be seen and heard. Yo, Theo, what's going on? It's a great opportunity to get your music in front of people that would not normally hear your music. Because you're not going to just get on the South Korean DSPs through CD Baby and through, TuneCore and DistroKid. And no disrespect to them, but you're not going to necessarily get on those platforms like that. You have to have a direct inside connection to be able to do that. And I'm thankful that I have a partner now there that believes in what I do, believes in the artists. Exactly, South Africa as well. There's opportunities. I'm not attending Mnet this year, but there's opportunities that where the world is a big place, man. And most people who've never traveled outside the country have no, especially I'm talking about specifically about America. The world is big, man. The world is huge. Africa is a huge, huge continent. It's a huge, huge place with a lot of people who are looking and waiting to want to hear your music. Like Sound Republica's motto is let the world hear your music. Because so many of y'all just care about selling out, going on the Billboard charts and things like that, which is nothing wrong with that. But just because you're not on the Billboard chart doesn't mean that the world's not hearing your music and there's not opportunities to be seen and heard in other countries or other places, guys. What's going on, Tony? How you doing? My man Dagger, music producer, content creator. Dagger, man, I was just talking about how much of a opportunity. There's my guy Harry Lewis, my former professor at Full Sail University. Taught entrepreneurship. What a great guy. And I have followed the path of entrepreneurship since leaving Full Sail. And it's been not easy, but it's been a time of a lot of great ups and some downs, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because I get to do what I love. I get to pursue what I love every single day, and be happy in knowing that I'm making a difference in the lives of people. And that's what really matters to me, especially in music. Music is so powerful, guys. Music literally saves people's lives. Don't let nobody ever tell you that music is not important, because music is extremely important to our everyday life. My roommate says I listen to music all the time. Yeah, because music is that important to people's lives. It literally changes lives. It literally makes a difference. So all you creatives out there who's making music, understand that if you're really down for the craft and down for the grind and really do appreciate and love what you do and not just in this for the money, you have an opportunity to make a difference in a lot of people's lives. This is why I'm so passionate about teaching the information about the music business, and how I'm passionate about Um, Understanding the value of a core audience, man, because it makes a difference. You don't got to be all things to all people. You just got to be, you know, you got to be a few things to a small group of people, or let's say all things to a small group of people, and that will make a difference, a real big difference in your success. Monte, what's going on, man? How you doing? So, like I said, guys, this is just kind of to give you guys some background on Theo. There's levels, huh? Theo, you got a second to jump on here with me real quick? You talk about those levels. Are you free? Are you busy right now? I know you've had a chance to. I'm on and welcome. I'm on happy to bring you on my live, man. Okay, let me. I'm gonna request you right now. Give me a second. Let's see. How do we do this? Guest request. No. My viewers. Okay. Do you want? Oh, there we go. Approve. Theo,
Good on, my
what's going on, man? How you doing?
good. Sad to hear you won't be at me.
Yeah, man. Not this year, but I will. I'll hopefully be back next year for sure.
With me. I've got some family affairs to attend to. My son's being recruited for football for college. We visits all next
Oh
Saturday.
wow.
We've got visits all next week. So, unfortunately, I won't be there. The calls. Um, but yeah, man. Back to what I was saying, and to your point, uh, music is a global commodity. That's one of the
Right.
things I tell people. Everybody is concerned with growing up in their own hood. And don't get me wrong, that is important to where you come from, have a family there. But like you said, how big is that to Africa? Or just a few things that we about on a global scale, monetize one in every.
Hey man, hey, do you have headphones? Put some. If you have
Yeah,
headphones, put the headphones on. Yeah, put your headphones on, man. I think you're kind of breaking up there. 'Cause I want to be able to hear what you're saying.
there we go.
There we go.
That should be better
Now,
for you.
yeah, there we go. So what? So go ahead now.
But yeah, like I was saying, music is one of the few global commodities that you can, you know, take anywhere. If you open up a restaurant in your hometown, maybe somebody comes to that restaurant because the food is
Right.
that good. Maybe.
Right.
But you can't exactly just take that to Africa, take that to Japan. That's a lot harder thing to do than it is to get music, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Um, and if you can just get, if you think about it, we all know that the model for the super fans, and if you can just get
The
1,000
thousand.
of those
Right.
super
Right.
fans, everybody knows that. But think
Right.
about that from a global scale. So what does that mean if you break down that math? You're talking
Right.
about, I mean, if you can get 10 people,
Yep.
in a handful of cities in the US, and 10 people in a handful of cities in Europe, and 10 people in a handful of cities in Africa, and 10 people in Japan, before you know it, you will have that 1,000. Uh,
Right.
Good friend of ours, Do, right?
D.O.
Yep.
Gibson, right? If you took a poll right now and said, hey, man, how many people know D.O. Gibson? Most people would be like, I never heard of him. But
Right.
D.O. hasn't worked a day job in over 15 years,
Absolutely.
living solely off of his music.
Right.
D.O. drives a brand new Lexus. D.O. lives in a $1.5 million home, living
Right.
solely off his music.
Right. Right. And this is why I tell people all the time, and I tell my roommate all the time, is that I do what I do because this is people make livings off this music, and you never heard of them because they
Absolutely.
understand the work that once you put in the work, bro. If I did this for the money, man, well, you know how if
Right.
I helped artists for the money, I wouldn't be doing this for the money, man. Because most artists are not even in a situation to even pay people. But I think
Absolutely.
you put in the work, man. You can do this for real. This is a real career. See, the one thing that really bugs me out that a lot of people say, go get a real job.
Right. Right.
Go get a real job, right?
Yeah,
Go
I
get a
got a
real
real
job.
job. My real job keeps me busy 60, 70, 80 hours a week, you
Right,
know,
right,
because that's what, that's what music publishing does. You
right,
know,
right,
I, I,
right,
I mean, I spent all day today, literally all day today, 8 hours, you know, looking up, copyrights and registering works for one of my writers, a bunch of
right.
back catalog. And, I had to do the
Yeah,
research and find out who all the writers were, make sure the splits were
right,
correct and get all that
right,
stuff up to par.
right,
And so
right.
like that's what's about.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that work that goes into it. But the thing is, if they just understand that there is a business behind it, and that you can live off it. And like I said, there's levels to it because remember, I believe it was um, not Troy Taylor
Yep.
said it. He said, you could be, everybody can sing. Everybody's a singer. Right? You could be a singer, but that don't make you a star. You could be a star, that don't make you a superstar. You could be a superstar, that don't make you a legend. You could be a legend, that don't make you an icon. Like there's levels, you know what I'm saying? And you could be right down here just a singer, but making a living.
So, Theo, hello? Can you hear me? You're kind of breaking up.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
Look, yeah, okay, yeah, like
Yeah,
he's right, man. Look, there's levels. There's levels to success in this business. Just for me personally, you guys know from my brand, I'm not out here chasing celebrities. I'm not out here trying to
right.
be because that's only 1% of the industry, man. People there's there's only one Trey Songz, there's only one Chris Brown, there's only one Rihanna, there's only one
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce. But everybody wants to be the next Beyonce instead of being the next you.
Yep, absolutely.
There's
And
only
everybody wants
one
to be the
you. You
star.
know, right? And the reality is, bro, everybody's not going to be a star, but you can make a living. Like I said, you talk about Do. The world ain't gonna know who Do is, but Do, the world knows Do though. There's places that Do
Right.
go, they know who he is.
Absolutely.
Right now
Absolutely.
we're veteranized. Theo Lodge, these guys, they
Yep.
on tour. They on tour right now in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So they building, and a Euro tour. So it's like, with Xavier Keys, like I always tell him, I said, look, man, look at the things you've already done. You've been to 7 countries, man.
Right.
There's artists who've never been outside their hood.
Yep.
And you
That's
touched
it.
down in 7 countries. You've already been successful. You sold 3,000, 4,000 albums your first album. That's already been success.
Yep.
If it would all stop today, you've already probably succeeded more than half the artists out here.
Mm-hmm.
More than
Absolutely.
half the artists. So
Absolutely.
it's about looking at it from that perspective that you can actually make a living doing this and live relatively a normal life. So that's a
Absolutely.
win-win. But you
But
don't
they
got to
gotta
deal with the crap that the celebrities did.
but you
You got
gotta
to work.
they gotta understand the business side of it. And a lot of them don't because again, like we were
Yeah.
saying, you don't have to be the star. You don't have to be the Rihanna. But you may have a great song, you know. And now if you get with the
Right.
right publisher and they get that placed and let Rihanna sing it, You know, you can be,
Yeah, you
listen,
good.
one of my favorite guys that I look up to and and admire, and just and really good dudes, Bryan Michael Cox. Okay, and a
Right,
lot of
right,
people haven't heard of Bryan Michael Cox outside of the industry. The average person
right,
hasn't heard of Bryan Michael Cox, but
right.
yet Bryan Michael Cox, at last check was worth somewhere around 64, 70 million dollars. Yet he
Yep.
could walk down the street and not be bothered because most people don't even know who he is.
He
Yet
likes
he's
it that. Oh,
responsible for
yeah,
9 Grammys in the last 10 years.
and he loves it that way. And I'm sure he
You know,
loves it like that. He can live a normal
absolutely.
life. He doesn't
Versus
have to
Jay
deal
Z,
with what
who,
celebrity. And I think I remember him saying the story. Same thing with Troy Taylor, because when you're an artist, the spotlight's on you.
right?
When you're an artist, the spotlight's solely on you. So as a producer, you don't realize as a producer songwriter, you're still an artist, but you're just behind the scenes. You know, so
Absolutely,
you still get your
absolutely.
artist. So you haven't lost because you're a songwriter or because you haven't become a star, but you're really making the money. Neo was making a shitload of money behind the scenes before he ever decided he didn't want to
Before
be
he did his own solo thing.
right, and he didn't even want to. If you know his backstory, he didn't really want to be an artist. That's why he became a songwriter because he knew how the industry was. He didn't really want to be an artist because he understands what goes into being an artist. Being an artist is very hard. It's very
Absolutely.
difficult.
Not to mention when the money's split up. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
it's the songwriter that gets the bulk of that,
right,
not the person that
right,
performed it.
right, right, right,
So,
right. A lot of people, man, you know what it is, bro. And I was, obviously me being a Full Sail University grad, and I talk to a lot of these kids. I absolutely love going back and mentoring these young people. There's something special about that. But
yeah,
when I tell them the problem is there's no prerequisite to be in our industry,
no.
right? There's no prerequisite. Nobody, you don't have to go through a training course to be in the music industry.
Hmm.
But you need the training to be in the music industry,
True,
right? And
true.
and the internet has minimized or completely evaporated artist development,
Hmm.
and you need it now more than ever now. More than ever,
Absolutely.
you need artist development because there was something special about the process. Nowadays, and to be honest with you, your fans want to see the struggle. They want to see you come up. They want to grow with you.
Hmm.
They don't like back then. They wanted to see a finished product. In the '90s, they wanted to see the finished product. They didn't care about the
The
even into
development.
the development side of it. But a lot of artists back then were developed for 2, 3 years. We ever heard one single from them.
Exactly. You didn't even know they existed until it was time
Right,
to bring them to light.
right, right. I talk about Chris Brown, discovered at 11 years old in the gas station, signed at 13. First single doesn't come out till he's 15. That's 4 years of
Exactly.
development before we ever heard a Chris Brown single.
Hmm.
So imagine
Absolutely.
that's why he's a star today. That's why Rihanna's a star. That's why these artists who are stars, Justin Bieber, these artists were developed acts.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
They
So
didn't
that's
just
why,
they didn't just pop up
right,
tomorrow.
right. Music has become a hustle now, man. It is a hustle. It's like, oh,
Absolutely.
football didn't work out for me. Basketball didn't work out. So what's the next best thing? I'm gonna go be a rapper, man. All of a
And
sudden,
technology's changed the game as well because,
yeah,
you go back just 30 years ago, which isn't that long ago. I mean, like when I
right,
started making music, you had to know how to play instruments. Okay,
yeah,
plain and simple. Like there was no
yeah,
Fruity Loops, there was none of that. You know what I mean? Like you had to know how to play instruments. You gonna make a track, you better either hire a bass player, session players to
right,
come in here and play these parts, or you better know how to play them, and that's how you made your track. Plain and simple.
right,
I mean, there's a little bit of
right,
sampling. Don't get me wrong. I mean, MPCs have been around, but getting your hands on one of those, good luck.
right,
Things like the early EMU boards and some of these early synthesizers, but you still
right,
had to have a level of competency and understanding of musical structure in order to
right,
compose a song. Now you can just
Right.
drag and drop something in. Boom, there it is. Here's a loop. Here's now I got a drum. Here's another loop. Now I got a bass. There's a song in 30 seconds.
Right.
And
It's
whether
crazy,
I'm
man.
not saying whether it's good or bad, because I embrace the technology.
Oh, got
It's
to.
it's definitely oversaturated the industry to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's provided a lot of opportunities for people that otherwise would not have had them. And there's some great songs that were made by people that have zero musical
Yeah.
understanding, and I'm
And
okay
we're
with
not.
that because all I
Yeah.
care about
Look.
is the song.
Right. Right. If it's a hit, it's a hit. If it's a hit, it's a hit.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly. You
It's a
know.
hit. If it's a
Yeah, my
hit,
guy
it's a
Lance
hit.
there. Yeah, we started DJing together way back when. He definitely taught me
Right.
some things back in the day. That's why I started DJing, and then we went into everything else. But yeah, I mean
And,
this definitely a journey, and the like you said, I'm glad to see that you go back and speak with the youth, and I try and speak at conferences and
man,
panels when I can as
it's
well. And
something special about that place, man, because you know there's no shortage of people wanting to be in music, and like I said, now more than ever, you can create a career. I see my guy Stephen Cooper on here, who's been doing great, man. He's having music placed in all sorts of stuff
hmm
as a songwriter and writing for other artists. And he's out of Kansas City, Missouri.
yes,
So, so if you're in a small town like that and able to make things happen, that's another thing too with the internet now. You don't have to be in LA. You don't have to be in
no,
these cities anymore. Which
no,
because the thing about it is, it's so expensive to. I live in Orlando, Florida. Like it's so
hmm
expensive to live in these big, huge cities. And what happens is, I tell artists this all the time. You get lost in the sauce, man. When you're not ready to
100%.
go to cities, you just another artist. You're just another singer or another producer. And there's nothing wrong with that. But understand this is a relationship business. Understand
Absolutely,
this is a this is a relationship business, and you know, it's just a matter of understanding that. And everybody. Another thing too that really gets me, and it probably gets you too, is that everybody, they keep watching other artists. You're only on your timeline,
absolutely,
but fuck
absolutely.
where
You're not
everybody
on their
else is.
timeline. You're not them. You're not selling the same product they're selling. I mean, yeah, you are to the fact that you're both selling music, but that's where it
Right,
ends.
right.
But
It's
that's where
like,
it ends.
yeah, it's like stop. I recently try to tell us this all the time. Stop watching other artists. You always will be disappointed. You will.
If you spend
It's
more time
inevitable.
focusing on your own goals and setting out a strategic plan of action, I sit
Yeah.
down with my artists that we work with and
Right.
we do SWOT analysis. People
Yep.
aren't doing that, but we'll go over
Yep.
SWOT analysis. We'll form, when we do a release, we have a 12 to 18 month window for a release. People
Right.
they make a song today and say, I'm gonna put it up tomorrow. Okay,
Right.
that's great, but I mean, how do you expect anybody to they're just hoping it goes viral, right? And at the end of the
Right.
day, the best song in the world without marketing promo will not
Yeah.
benefit anyone's ears except yours because you're going to be the
Right.
only person that knows about it. Okay,
Right.
so you have to promote it and market it. You have to have a strategy for a proper rollout for the release.
Right.
That's one of the first questions I ask people when they say, "Hey, will you help
Yeah.
me with my release?" Okay, what's your plan for the rollout? Well, what do you mean? Okay, well, never mind then. We
Right.
that's what I mean.
Or,
Like that already tells me everything I need to know.
right. You're right. And it's like, and the thing about when you put a plan together, you should be okay to pivot from that plan and readjust. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
Sometimes you have a rollout, things happen. You gotta pivot. Even something as simple when I work with consulting clients, I say, look, let's do a focus group
absolutely,
before we even put music out. Let's see if people are even liking this music. But in
absolutely.
your mind, you think, but hey, if everybody doesn't like the music, then let's not put money or marketing promotion behind a song that nobody really is gravitating to. And
Right.
if you
Or they
test
put it
other,
behind the wrong one. They'll pick
right,
their favorite off the album instead of what should be the song they should push. Like you said, put it to a focus group. And if track number 3 is the one the focus group likes, then that's the one that you push. But the artist will
right,
say, well, no, track number 7, that's my jam. Who cares what your
right,
jam is?
right,
Are you the one buying the music?
right. Exactly, man. So I mean, but it's like artists, because you know what it is, bro. They don't think of themselves like startups, like companies. like things like the stuff that you have to do. Because to be honest with you, this is how I look at it. A lot of artists today still wish it was 1995. So all they had
Yeah,
to do is be all they had to do is be artists. That's it. All I want to do. You cannot just say all I want to do is be an artist. That doesn't
right.
work.
Yeah, those days
It
are
doesn't
done.
work. You can't do that. You cannot give one person that much control over your career. I don't care who you are. Your manager is still your company. You can hire a manager all day, but you still
He's your
have to know
employee.
what's going on. You still have to know what's going on. You can't just say,
Absolutely.
"Oh, a man." No, you have to have as much input as your manager. Because at the end of the day, bro, it's whatever you want to do. It's your career. You drive the bus,
One of the first things I do with artists when if I bring on a new artist is ask
right?
them, are they incorporated?
Yep.
And if and if they're not, then I make sure to get them incorporated. And then I teach them to understand that you have to start running yourself as a business. And that starts with incorporation. Now,
Yeah.
every outfit you buy for a show, tax
Yeah.
write off. Okay? When
Mhm.
you travel to and from the show, all that gas money, tax write off. Your car,
Yeah.
tax write off. Okay?
Mhm.
If you were at home with your studio, part of your electric bill and part of your rent and lease, all of that, tax write off, deductible. Okay? That's all money that's going to come back to you at the end of the year that you can then reinvest. Let's say you
Yeah.
got back a $5,000 refund that you wouldn't have got if you weren't a business. Now you can take
Right.
that $5,000, reinvest it. Okay, let's plan the next 12 months using this $5,000 that didn't come out of my pocket.
Yeah, 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 man. And another thing too with artists as well, they gotta understand that you're gonna be in the red a lot longer than you're gonna before you be in the black. It's just the nature of
Absolutely.
the game. Nature of the
Absolutely.
game. You're selling art. You're selling emotion, man. You're selling emotion for a living. This is not. You're not selling an actual physical product. You're selling some emotion that people have to connect to. So everybody's not gonna connect to the same record,
Nope.
or everybody's not gonna connect to it the same way you may want them to connect to it. This is why you
Absolutely.
have to have a marketing strategy and a marketing plan to talk to people a certain type of way. You gotta be on social media too, or you have to be on social. That's just the way people talk. So it's like people gotta understand like there's certain things and certain fundamentals you have to be a part of.
Absolutely.
You
How
just
many
have
times
to.
you get this one? How many times you get this one? You ask artists. So, who you make music for? Oh, I make music for everybody.
Ah.
No, no, you don't make music for
Exactly.
everybody. Okay, you do not make
Right.
music for everybody. There's a specific group that you're supposed to target. Who is yours? Okay,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
the
That all
example I
the time.
use, I'll say, are you making music for 16-year-old skater kids in suburbia or 65-year-old black women? Two
Right.
completely different demographics. Okay,
Right.
now
Right.
you need to know which one of those you're targeting because even with your Facebook ads, if you just target everybody, you're going to get some 16-year-old kid that's going, this is not music for me, or vice versa. You
Right.
might get some 65-year-old lady that's going to go, why the hell is this on my feed? In either
Right.
way, that's not helping your cause. It's actually hurting your brand more than it's helping your
Absolutely.
brand.
Absolutely, and a lot of things too. A lot of artists they don't focus as much on the psychographics. The psychographics is way more important than the demographics.
Yeah,
The
agreed.
demographics to me only tell you surface based data. They don't really tell
100%.
you what. I always say psychographics. The demographics are the who, what, when, and the where, which is cool to know. But what we got to know is the why. Once you
That's
know
that
that
deep dive.
information, that, right, and that causes us a lot more time and energy. I know it's not sexy to do, but it's important. Like when I work with work with a client, I say first we go to the classroom, man. The music shit is easy. You know, the
Hmm.
music shit is easy, man. The stuff that's hard for a lot of is wrapping their mind around. Okay, what does demographics mean? What does psychographics mean? Marketing, promotion, brand development, brand integrity, all these type of things that you have to know about that is going to make you an artist, a viable music, a viable artist, a working artist. Like those are
You
the
know,
things that you have to know. Right,
and keep in mind that even going back to the days of CDs, like when back
right,
before digital streaming and all that,
right,
a big thing of mine was always making sure that our product could compete with anything else. When I put my CD on the shelf, I want to be able to sit
right,
it right next to Jay Z's and it looks
right,
just as good as his.
right,
Okay.
Right.
just from an appearance standpoint, let alone from an audio and quality standpoint,
Right.
but
That's another
too
thing.
many people trying to cut corners and this and that,
Yeah. You can't.
and they still do it to this day, even though they're, physical is not what it is. But people forget that your competitor is Jay-Z, it is Cardi B, it is Atlantic
Right.
Records, it is Warner Brother Records. Warner and
Right.
Atlantic, these people have entire departments dedicated to marketing. So you better at least
Yep.
dedicate one person to it, okay?
Right.
Even
That's
if that
true.
person is you, you got to dedicate at
That's
least one person
that,
to it. They got a whole
that
team, they got a whole floor in their office that's doing that, okay?
yeah, that is
So,
so true. That is so true, man. I mean, and I think what it is for a lot of artists, they don't understand. Like you said, like I said earlier, this is a real career. Okay, this is a real. A lot of young people, a lot of parents who come from a different generation, they didn't look at music as a viable career. Like this was something you did after you went to your day job, worked nine
right,
to five. You want to go have a little wind down. Let me go and play some music and
right.
or
It's a
go
hobby.
DJ. It's a hobby. But now more than ever, this is a real career. And the internet
100%.
has allowed you to be a creative, whether you're a filmmaker, whether you're a visual artist, whether you're a dancer, whatever it is you do in the art community. This is a real career because now you can touch so many people through social media. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's what's really changed the game. So that's why I tell people, like, no, this is a real career. And sometimes you have to go against your parents. You have to go because they're not gonna understand. They're from a different
Nope.
generation. They're not supposed to understand. That's why I like Gary Vee. Gary Vee says you almost have to tell
Yeah.
your parents. You almost have to. And it sounds bad. You almost have to tell your parents, fuck off.
Right.
You almost have to
So
do that.
sometimes you got to do you. Now
Yeah.
again, that's not for everybody, but
Right.
but the point is still valid. The point is
Yeah.
still valid that there's a lot of people who are living their life for other people, whether it's for
People.
their parents, for their spouses,
Right.
for whoever, instead of living the life that they want to live.
Absolutely. And
And
that's what
and and
that's what I
that
do.
you should be taking care of number one first and foremost, because at the end of
You
the
gotta
day,
be happy.
it's your life.
Yeah, you gotta be man. I don't care how long it takes me to struggle. I've been doing this since 2004 in some kind of capacity, and it took me a while. When I'm making traction, I feel like I'm getting where I need to go, but I have to be happy, and I find
Absolutely.
joy helping artists. I find joy knowing that my knowledge of what I've learned can help somebody pursue their dreams and goals. Because as the saying goes, you help enough people get where they gotta go, you're gonna get where you gotta go. It's just natural.
Absolutely.
That's why you gotta fall. You gotta fall in love with the process. So
Oh,
many
it's definitely a
people
process.
don't want to fall in love. They don't want to fall in love with the process. I hear so many people say that. Fall in love with your process, not the end result. A,
Exactly.
a simple example of that is okay. If I want to make a lot of money, but some people $100 is a lot of money, right? So now,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you got that $100. Now what? So like, if
Listen,
all you're concerned about is the end result, then what happens when you get to the end of that mountain? Now what's your next thing? You know what I mean?
part of the process for you and for myself is attending conferences, right?
Yeah,
To get the knowledge, right? The three reasons to go to a conference is one, obviously the networking. You go to network, you go to meet people, you
yeah,
go to grow your own network. But two,
yeah,
you go for the panels. What's new in the industry, what changes are there, to try and stay abreast on, what the latest
right,
trends are and things like this. And then the
right,
third is if you're lucky enough to have an artist that's showcasing or something like this, right? Those are
right,
the three main
right,
reasons to go to a
right,
conference. But I thoroughly enjoy
right,
that process. Like I try to attend as many conferences as I can in a year. Um, and
right.
primarily because I want to stay ahead of the curve. I want to know, oh, they changed the copyright law. Publishing is my business. I need to know,
Yeah,
what are the latest developments, in
right.
the Music Modernization Act. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I need to
yeah,
know. So I'm making sure we get all of our money for the artists that I represent. Like that's critical.
yeah.
And
So that's
I used to have a
retirement.
friend that
That's retirement for y'all. That's a 401k. You know what I mean? That's for a lot of
absolutely,
artists. That's their retirement. That's the 401k. That's how they retire. Is through publishing. And
absolutely,
like
because
I
it
made a
never stops paying.
right. It never stops paying. Like Gene Culver's like what Gene said with his dad with Duke of Earl. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
Gene or not, but
yeah,
um
absolutely.
yeah. So Gene, his dad's still getting checks and 70 something years old from a song he wrote in 1962.
Exactly. It never
You still
stops
get
paying.
shit,
That's the thing.
right? You know,
Now you got to have a song good like Duke Earl, and that's the other side of it
right,
too. If you
right,
don't have good music, well, then you're just not going to make money. But
right,
that's an interesting point to bring up as well. A lot of people don't
right,
take the time to truly evaluate their music. They like
right,
it, okay, but just because
right,
you like it doesn't mean it's a hit. Is it really, really a good song, or are you
right.
just the only one that's liking it? And maybe your parents and your family supporting you, so they tell you it's a good song, but is it really a good song?
Right. Go stay. Look, stay away. Look, mommy and daddy and your best friend, they're gonna love all the shit you do. They're gonna love it because
Absolutely.
they love you. They
Absolutely.
love
Take
you.
it to
They don't.
total strangers and see what they say. And if
Right.
they're not feeling it, then hey, go back to the drawing board and be like, how can I make this better?
Right.
I just seen an article about Lil Nas X, and he was saying for
Yeah.
that Old Town Road, he was like, how can I write the shortest, catchiest, hook? Like he really put effort. It didn't just happen. He didn't just write it. He actually had a plan. Like, you know what? I'm gonna write a hit song, right? And that
Right.
came to be. And now
Yeah.
that song's broke all kinds of records, and he's paid from here on out. And that song will definitely be what they call an evergreen in the publishing business. That will continue to pay for years and years and years and years and years and years to come.
Yeah.
I promise you that. That's a song that 20 years from now people will still listen to it.
Yep. And like I made a post the other day about a sub publisher and understanding how all that stuff works and neighboring rights and the fact of how
Absolutely.
collaboration, how one collaboration with an artist, an international artist, now you can collect neighboring rights on that particular song in that country through a sub publisher before it gets back to ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So a lot of
Absolutely.
artists don't even understand. Again, like I said, we've made it a point to learn the business of music.
Hmm.
Okay, there's the music business, but then there's the business of music.
And that's exactly
That's
it.
what we have. That's what these artists have to learn. You can't go to sell houses or sell real estate for a living and not know how the
And
money
not
works.
know the
If you're
real
gonna be
estate business.
right, if you're gonna make a film and write a dope screenplay, you better know how to go get that shit funded. You
Right.
know what I mean? Tyler Perry,
Absolutely.
perfect example. Tyler Perry, he knew, okay, I got to tell my message a certain type of way. I cannot let the big movie production houses take my message and distort it. So I got to create my own way. He said, so instead of trying, he said, I'm gonna go the Chitlin circuit route, build up this audience, then build my own studio house. So now I control vertical integration. Everything comes through me.
Absolutely. And that's exactly
And
what he
so
did.
like
And anybody can
that's
do
exactly
that
what.
if they really just that's grassroots effort right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you said,
yeah,
that's knowing who your core fan base is, who your super
yeah.
fans are, feeding them,
No,
doubling down on that to take those
yeah.
revenues and increase them three, four fold, and then
Yeah,
utilize that capital how the best way that you need to
man.
see fit.
Go to small towns. Yeah, I always tell artists all the time, if you can't rock a room of 50, 60 people, then you can't rock a
Yeah.
room of 500 people. You just can't.
No.
Like you don't
Absolutely.
get if you cannot give me the same show that you give me. If you can't rock the same energetic show for 50 people, why in the hell would I put you in front of a room of 500 people? Why would I do
Absolutely.
that?
Or 5,000.
Or 5,000? You know what I mean? And then, well, I want to open up for big artists. I want to. They're not there to see you. I don't like artists will pay shitloads of money to open up just so they can say at the end of the day, all you do that's for a resume builder. That's all that's for. You're not really building new fans doing that shit.
One of the things I love to do is I ask, I'll say, how do you get to play Madison Square Garden? And I'll get all kinds of answers. Well, first you do this, and eventually you'll work your way up, and you play Madison Square Garden, this and that. And don't get me wrong, some of those answers are all true, but here's the real truth of the matter. You know how
Yeah,
you get to play Madison Square Garden? You call up Madison Square Garden and find out how much it is to book it, and now you can play Madison Square Garden. And then
yeah,
they all go, well, yeah, but who's going to come to that? Exactly my point, right? Like
right,
you're right. Who's going to come to that? Okay, but the
right,
question was, how do you pack? How do you sell out Madison Square Garden? The question was, how do you get to play it? You get to play it by
right,
booking it. That's how you get to play it. Now, can you fill the seats in Madison
right,
Square Garden? That's a completely different question, and that's the one you need to be
right,
asking yourself. How do I get to do that?
right. Right. You can go. You can get the venue because if you got enough money, you got enough
Absolutely. You can
money.
get the
You
venue. You know what I mean? But can you fill
you
the venue?
you
Can you get
call
a
Dolan
return
up.
on that investment?
James Dolan to go take your money.
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
exactly.
James Dolan will go take. He'll go get your money, but because he's an artist too. Believe it or not, I don't know if you knew that, but he is in a rock
But most
band.
people in the
So
industry are like they started, in some way, shape, or form, they were a musician or artist. And then,
yeah,
whether it was they realized that, what, I'm not as good as these other guys, or whether they just fell in love with the business side. I mean, that was me. Like, I just slowly started falling in love with the business side because I had to learn the business side. My entire journey has been organic. Started as a
right,
DJ, got into production, got into engineering, all that, and then learned about publishing because I had to. Learned about sample clearances
right,
because I had to. You see what I'm saying?
right.
But then when I start collecting more royalties than other people that are on the song, they're going, well, how come you got all that and I only get this and we're on the same song? Well, because I went and got mine, that's why. And then they're going, well,
Right.
can you do that for me? Well, I can, but it ain't free.
I,
So, so you know,
right.
so that's how I
And then
got
I
into the
get
world of publishing. It was never a journey to be like, yeah, I want to be the next, Sony ATV. You know what I mean? Like that was never the plan. It just everything
right,
happened organically. And then same thing with our label, right?
right.
We ended up launching the label because once we got in publishing, start getting these sync licensing, then we learned, oh,
Yeah.
you get paid for two sides of it, on the publishing side
Yep.
and the master side. Huh. If we own the
Right.
masters, we'd get more money. So then we launched our own label so that we could release everything and own the publishing on it. Okay. But it was
Right.
all organic. It was never a plan. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Um, and it goes to what you said. It's enjoying the journey.
Man, look. You gotta enjoy the journey. You gotta love it, man. I deal with crap all the time. I deal with artists want to hire me for services, signing contracts, and don't pay. I deal with it
Yeah,
all, bro.
absolutely. I've done it all.
But
I've done it all too. I've
but
had people that sign a contract and say, well, I want to go over here now. I want to be with this person. Okay, you understand? You're under contract. You don't just get to just leave. You know what I mean?
right.
But there's times I let them go. Yeah, whatever. I'll let you out. I'll release you. I don't. This ain't going anywhere
Yeah,
anyway.
'cause
Um,
it ain't going anywhere
and even if it
anyway. So
was, sometimes it's better just to keep the relationship.
yeah, it's better like look, 'cause the artists always think, man, that the grass somehow is always gonna be green on the other side.
Yep.
And most of the time it's not because especially when you're dealing on the management side, like I have, or what happens is when you get a manager is like family. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a brotherhood, sister, or girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever, however you want to look at it. But it's like dating. You know what I mean? And so that you really have to like that person. You really have to, y'all have to really get along.
Well, it's
You have
definitely
to
a
go to
marriage.
bat. Yeah, you have to go to bat for that person. You have to, most importantly, you have to know that your artist, whoever you're managing, is going to go to bat for you. That's the biggest thing because you can go
Most
to bat for them
managers
all day.
have to kick out money out of their pocket at some point or another,
Right,
in support of their artists. That's just the way it goes. And
right,
an unforeseen expense happens on tour, and the manager covers it. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
there's
right.
all these things that go into it, and artists don't often appreciate that. That's one of the one things I do not do is manage artists. And I say, God bless those that do because it takes a special person to deal with that
It does.
mess. I do not
It
have
does.
that type of patience.
You manage the music. So
you
yeah, because
know,
the music doesn't quit. The music doesn't talk back. Then
right.
it,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. That's what I do. Exactly. I could
yeah,
do that all day long. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah, because you got to deal with so many different personalities, man. And I do because I love it. But trust me, it's not something that it's a thankless job, and nothing you do for artists is ever good enough. Nothing you do
No.
for them is ever good enough. I don't care what it is. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care how many, you know what I mean? Nothing you do for them is ever good enough because they're always watching somebody else. So, yeah, and
Absolutely.
if you don't get them there, then you've done a horrible job. I'm gonna go to this person who doesn't even really know you like that. You're just a client to them. See, that's the mistake a lot of artists make. If you go to a manager with a quote unquote resume, a big resume, right? You're just a client to them. They
Just a
don't
number.
care about they don't care about you. They don't
Mm-hmm.
care about your well
It's the
being. They
same thing
don't
in the
care.
world of publishing. I mean, like
Yeah,
there's people, they want to get the Cobalt deal or the Warner Chapel deal or, Universal,
and we,
go on and
and we
on.
could talk and we could
But
talk about that for a second. These co-pubs, right? So they don't understand. They give you this check. Oh, 250 grand publishing check. No, but you gotta write, you gotta publish and release 6 songs, 100% written by you. Like a lot
Absolutely.
of them don't understand what that stuff really means in your contract. Oh no, you gotta get 6 released songs, 100% written by you. That's
Absolutely.
commercially
Well,
released.
and that's just the minimum deliverables, right?
Yep, yep, yep,
Even
yep,
even
yep.
if you meet your 6 songs, what they fail to understand is that when they gave you that advance, part of the exchange of that is you assigning your rights to them. So you give up the
Right.
publisher share. Okay.
Yep.
So now when a dollar comes in, 50 cents goes to the writer, 50 cents goes to the publisher. But now that you've
Yeah.
assigned that other 50 cents to them, you're only making 50 cents off of every dollar, which means
Yeah.
on a $250,000 advance, even if you write your 6 songs, those 6 songs are going to have to generate a total of $500,000 in order to pay
Wow.
back $250,000 because only 50 cents of that money belongs to you.
What
You
you
can't
do?
pay them
Right.
back with their half of the money. Doesn't work
Right.
that way. And
Right.
artists get that confused all the time. They go, "Hey, I made my 250. I'm free and clear." Wait a minute. You did make 250. However, 50 cents of that belong to the publisher. You can't pay them back with their own money. Okay? So only
Right.
125 of that is yours. And I'll
Yeah.
take that because that's what's owed me, and you still owe me
Yeah.
another 125. Okay,
Yep. Yep.
it's just,
Yep.
you know what I mean. And
They don't understand.
that's the thing. One of the things I do with my company, man, is we sit down anytime I'm going to assign somebody to a co-pub. We sit artists
Yeah.
down and make sure they understand. Like I give them the history of publishing, when it started, how it started, why it started, when ASCAP was formed, BMI,
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
things up until where we are today. So they have a full understanding of it and know what my
Yeah.
job is. But more importantly, um, beyond that, we make sure that, like they're educated enough, they could go out and be like, okay, thanks, I don't need you to do it. But more often than not, what they do is say, you know what, thank you for telling me all that. I'd rather just create. Can you please handle that? But
Right.
then they know exactly what's expected of me and what's expected of them. We don't do any
Right.
advances here with my company. It's like I said, you're just gonna have to pay me back, and it's better to just work together. You know what I mean? Like, let's
Yep.
just work together. Okay, you create the music, I'll push the music. Let's just do that. You know, and
Yep.
when we hit,
Yep.
then we hit, and nobody owes anybody. You get yours, I get mine. Everybody's happy. You know what I mean? And one of the
Right.
other things
Right.
we
Right.
do is outside of traditional publishing companies is this, man. We have a clause in ours um, that states if we've not made money for you as a publisher within 3 years, your rights revert back to you. Okay,
Oh
so you
wow.
don't you,
That's
you
really
don't
good.
assign the rights to me for life. If I've made money for you, well then yeah, I'll still hold on to the rights because I deserve to hold on to the rights because I've made money
Right.
for you.
That's how you
That's
get.
my job. You know what I
Right.
mean? If I
Right.
don't make money
Right.
for you within 3 years, then the rights revert back to you. You're made whole again. You own 100% of everything. I own nothing. Why? Because I don't deserve to own anything because I've done nothing. You
Right.
see,
Right.
that's the
No,
difference,
that's
and,
real.
and that comes from a place of me being a musician first. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I know what it is. I know what it's like to give up your rights. I've given up my rights before I knew about publishing. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
gave away my entire publisher share and held onto the writer's share, thinking I was doing something. Yeah, woo!
Right.
And then I realized, oh shit, man, I gave away a lot there. I didn't realize that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
I
Right.
get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, my mission is, our motto for the publishing company is empowering musicians everywhere. That is my
Right.
goal, to empower them, educate them, help them get paid, help them advance their careers as much as possible, from the standpoint of music publishing. That is my goal, and that's what drives me. Not to,
Yeah.
accumulate as many rights as possible or to, just, steal people's rights. Because again, if I've not made you any money, then I don't deserve to hold on to them.
Yeah. You don't deserve that. The part of you, that's how you get paid. That's your commission for lifetime commission, by the way,
Absolutely.
for doing the work that you've done. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you deserve that, man. That's why I said a good friend of mine is Vincent Berry. Obviously who wrote Sandcastle with Beyonce, right? And
Hmm.
Vince talks about how he turned down tons of publishing deals because he, like you said, that whole thing of assign copyright wholly and completely. He said,
Absolutely.
hold on, no, this don't make sense. Wholly and completely? You
Hmm.
get to own, but then when he realized that you can now assign songs, pieces of songs now. So now when
Hmm.
he realized, okay, my songs are pieces of pies, right? So If I need some money, all I gotta do is go to some real estate guys, some real estate tycoon, and say, look, give me 50 grand. I'll give you 5% of this record for a small for a small amount of time. So
Mm-hmm.
I need some cash flow. So I don't have to lock
Absolutely.
myself into a contract. You get to keep and retain on my publishing for I don't know X amount of years or whatever it is. After that, I pay you your money back. You give me back my rights to the music, and now I
Absolutely.
own my publishing wholly again. So Vince was homeless for like 3 years because in LA because he did not want to give up his his he did not want to take these deals where he had to sign his copyrights over.
Right.
Like that's lifetime money. Like this, I'm not gonna give you my copyrights. A
There's an entire
song,
business. There's an entire business that was started on that principle. Royalty
yeah,
exchange. That's what
yeah,
royalty exchange does. They assign pieces of copyrights, and whether it's the half whole, whether it's just the mechanical portion, or just the performance, or just the sync, or all
yeah,
the above.
yeah,
And investors, you can go there and bid on them like eBay now, and say I want to bid
yeah,
on a catalog, and they'll have catalogs that have, oh, in this catalog we've got an old song of Chris Brown's, we've got one of Jay-Z's, and we got this, that, and then there's some other people you may not have heard of or whatever. And the beautiful thing is they give you the royalty statements for the last 18 months so you can see what it's been earning, so you know exactly
right,
what you're investing into. Okay.
right,
And so then you go on there and you say, yeah, you know what, this one's been making, it's been averaging 5,000, a month for the last 3 years. If I buy this for 30,000, you know, and I hold on to the rights for the next 5 years, as long as it continues on that path, I'll get my money back. Do you see what I'm saying?
yep,
It's all
yep,
it's all a risk game, but any investment is. You know what I mean? Like
yep,
that's just
yep,
investing. It's always a risk game. But
yeah,
it's on you to know which ones to invest in and which ones not. And it's
right,
but yeah, it's their royalty exchange. Check it out. It's pretty
yeah,
you got to have some deep
and
pockets, but
yeah, no, you do, a song is even better than traditional real estate because a song never depreciates. A song never depreciates. It can only appreciate. In a home, you know, you got to fix up that home, otherwise that home will depreciate at some point. But that
absolutely,
song is never going to depreciate. So in some ways, publishing is the best um, investment. Sometimes some one of the best investment strategies you can have. But you got to
no,
understand the publishing game. You got to understand the music game. A lot of traditional
absolutely.
business people have no idea how this stuff works, so therefore you probably shouldn't get into it because you don't know how it
No,
works.
absolutely. Find you a trusted advisor
Yeah.
like
Right.
Durell there. Okay.
Right. You know what I mean? And I have a basic knowledge of publishing, right? So
Yeah,
I don't even deal in publishing, but I can have a conversation about it because I know about it. But that's a whole world in itself. And like
absolutely.
I try to tell producers too, like um, a lot of these artists will lease these producers will lease
Hmm.
beats. And I get it. You want to lease your beats non-exclusive. You want to make as much money as possible. But where artists get into trouble is like in this situation now with Sound Republica is now you're leasing a track that now I want to go put in Korea, but you don't have the rights to it.
Absolutely.
So now we can't do nothing with that song. That's a non-exclusive, and a client of mine that I want to send his record over, somebody else already purchased the exclusive. So he see basically we can't do nothing with this record that they actually like. So what I try to tell artists is do this: find a producer who you rock with. Say, look, I'm not gonna pay.
Build with them.
I'm not gonna pay you for the tracks, but we're gonna be co-owners of the tracks for life, co-owners of the copyright for life, right? So when you understand how all that stuff works, then the producer really wins. That's how Zay told me, man. Zay told me the Gucci man. That's what they did.
Yeah, but that's the
You
thing.
know?
But that come from building a relationship. You know what I mean? Like they
Shit,
didn't
right,
just say, and
right,
see, they hear you say that and they think it's that easy. Like they do
yeah,
exactly that. They go, "Hey, Mr. Producer, here's how it's gonna go
right,
down. You gonna give me the track and
right,
we're gonna put it out together and boom." Like, no, no, no,
right,
no. Jarrell's telling you to do that, but he's not telling you to do it like literally like right now. You have to reach
right,
out, find somebody, build a relationship with them. Over time, I just seen a post from a producer today that said, actually one of my producers. He said, who's looking for stuff for their project? And he said, hit me up, and depending on how serious you are about your craft, I may just give you the beat for free.
Right.
Perfect example.
Right.
That guy's looking to build a relationship.
Right.
Build a relationship. Reach out to that guy. And have a
Right.
conversation with him. And maybe he goes, you know what? I'm gonna give you the beat for free.
Right.
And but that's what it's about.
Right. And again, it's understanding because another thing too is in America, a lot of artists don't understand. You only get on traditional radio, the
Hmm.
PROs, you only get paid on the PA side, not the SR side.
Absolutely. The
So,
SR side comes from Sound Exchange.
right, right. So a lot of artists don't understand, and we're only one of 5 countries. Most other countries in the world, you get paid on both
Pay
sides.
on both,
But
right? Which is
for
another
some
reason
reason,
to get your music in other countries.
right, right. So it's like, so when it comes to stuff like that, I try to tell artists like, this is why Beyonce, you could give her a fully done song, she will always write on the record because she knows that she's gonna get shitloads and millions of spins, and she wants to get paid on that PA side of the copyright, not just
Absolutely.
because she knows the SR side, she's not gonna make no money from that.
The label will.
So that's the label will. You know what I mean? So that's why she's always gonna write on the record every single time. Every
Absolutely.
single time. So again, it just comes back down to understanding how that whole premise works, and this is why I'm so passionate about teaching people. Cause that's really what it is. It just is a lack of education. Not because these people they just don't know. They
Absolutely.
just don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
two books, right? That anybody that wants to be in this industry, if they've not read them, I don't know what they're waiting on. Everything you need to know about the music business, Donald Passman.
yeah,
Like that's the
yeah.
Bible. That book. Let me tell you something. I first read that book in 1993, I think, maybe even
Right,
91. Like the first edition of that book. Okay,
right,
before
right,
digital streaming and all that. I currently
right,
own a 10th revision of it because of streaming and everything that's came along with it. And
right.
I flip through it from time to time, refer to things, reread it. It's a good read. Like that is exactly that. It's everything you need to know about the music industry. Like that's first and foremost. Then the second thing is, to get a better understanding on publishing, um, um, it is the plain and simple guide to publishing.
Okay, well, that's not the one Kashif wrote, did it? Kashif did.
No,
The one that yeah, the one that Kashif wrote was really good too. The one, yeah, God rest his soul. I love Kashif. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, like those two books will make a huge difference for you. The Brayback brothers, their book, Music, Money, Success. That
yeah,
that's a deep dive though. That's a deep dive. You better understand. Yeah, you got to understand because they really get into how the royalties break down and as far
yeah,
as the shares and stuff for ASCAP and BMI and how they figure that all out, how they really get into all of those formulas. So that's a deep dive, but it's still good to know, especially if you're going to go down the road of publishing. But I mean, like I said, if nothing else, man, everything you need to know about the music industry to not have read that, you want to be in this industry, like that's the Bible, and it teaches you about everything, not just one thing, everything there is to know about this industry.
yeah,
And so that, like I said, I told you, I mean, you can get them on Amazon, you can get them on eBay. You can buy used copies for $10 on eBay. Like, come on.
yeah, yeah. And it's just a matter of just understanding. Like, look, man, like take your time, take the time to learn, understand. And another thing too, if they reach out to people like I'm sure you consult. I'm sure you consult a lot of artists too. If they reach out
Yep.
to people like like you said, pay people for their time. Pay people for the value. Understand that, like, if they give you the value, pay people for them because that's important, man. Because what because there's one thing to get it out of a book, but when they pay you, bro, they pay you for one proof of concept and two execution on how to. So, okay, all these words in the paper, I'm going to really show you what that stuff means in layman's terms.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Absolutely.
you can read all the information you want on Google, but the thing about it is you may not understand how to process and break all that stuff down.
Yeah. And
To,
application is completely different
right,
than
right,
just reading
right,
it.
right. So somebody like yourself who understands the publishing world can break it down really, really simple to get somebody to understand it. That's valuable. But I
Absolutely.
give a free 30-minute consultation, man. This is how I roll. You get a free 30-minute consultation with me. After 30 minutes, I feel like you're full of shit, then the conversation's over.
Right.
All right. After that, we have because oh, you want to work? Okay, we'll do a follow up call. The next call after we don't need to talk after the second call. Like yo, either you want to rock with me or you don't. We don't need to go
Right.
all this back and forth. Like yeah, we don't need to do all that because by that time you've seen the value that I put all my value. I put all my credentials out there.
Hmm.
It's all documented. It's all of it's documented. So I got nothing
Absolutely.
to hide. you
Absolutely.
know what
You
I
know.
mean?
And no,
Got
no,
nothing to
as it should be. You know what I mean? All of our systems, on the publishing side and even on the label side, I mean, they're completely transparent. The writers, the artists, they get logins. They can see the reports. They can see daily what their statements are, what their royalties are, what their streams are, all these things. And
Oh no.
again, coming from a musician standpoint first, I know what I want. You know what I mean? Like I know what I want in a company. So that's what I make sure to give everybody because I know how like I said, you live and learn. I've got burned. I don't ever want anybody to do a bad deal. And so I always make sure to tell people that and stress that and help them along the way as much as I can. I tell people all the time, listen, everything's negotiable. And
Yeah.
that's really not something you should tell people. Okay,
Right.
but I mean, if you're gonna be Mr. Business savvy, right? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. Right. Right.
But listen,
Right.
no, but I do because it's the truth. Everything is negotiable. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
like plain and simple. Now that doesn't mean I'm gonna come to your terms, but everything is
Right.
negotiable. So like,
Right.
convince me why we should meet at this number versus that number. And if
Right.
it's legit, okay, well then yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? At the same
Yeah.
time, I can give you a million reasons why we should stick with the number that I have. You know, so that's the whole thing. Let's start with nobody knows you. Let's start with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right. 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 Right.
but that's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, I got like we're setting up co-writes for our writers over in Europe. I just got hit up for a co-write for a writer in Europe. Kian,
Yeah.
an artist who's going to be performing at the MeDem Artist Accelerator this year.
Oh, dope.
KYAN, check him out. He's dope, man. Dope
Okay.
R&B singer from the UK.
Okay.
We set up co-writes with his camp. And I'm not even going to be at MeDem, but I've got writers that are doing a co-write in the
Bro,
UK
bro,
before.
they never the artist accelerator program. They never picked nobody from the states for some reason. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I mean, my group Clear Soul Forces made it like to the final round last year.
Yeah.
Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember if it was last. It might even have been 2 years ago. But they made it to the final round. And you know how they picked 10? They were number 11. Like they just missed it. And that but they're a hip hop group. And see, like I felt if we'd have went this year, they would have really had a good chance because the focus this year is hip hop at MeDem.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, they actually partnered with A3C this year. A3C is going to be there because the whole focus at MeDem this year is hip hop.
Mm. Damn, this is a
Yeah.
tough year to shit.
Yeah, I know. That's what I
Yeah.
said too, man. It's a very tough year. I mean, I actually helped them book speakers for it and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
so
because
so
there's never usually a lot of people of color and especially hip hop on the
yeah.
panels a lot of times. So yeah,
Yeah, and that's the
yeah.
whole thing. They've got Troy Carter as a keynote this year. They've got Dia Sims. They've got Cortez. What's Cortez last? Cortez Bryant.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Cash money.
they,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. They've got all kinds of people on there, and it's all hip hop. You know what I mean? Ian
Mm.
Holder from Sony ATV. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Just so many people. And like I said, the focus this year is hip hop, and like you said, it's a tough year to miss. But like I said, so much so that they brought in A3C and partnered with them to come to MeDem and make MeDem hip hop.
They have to, man, because there's so much hip hop. Because you don't think about it, Alan Johnston is the only showcase at the Comedy Club that's really showcasing people of color, man. Like that's why we have like one of the dopest showcases because he's like really showcasing some of the hottest talent. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well,
Like,
that and the show that and the show that him and Dio are really the main ones because Dio does his showcase every year as well at Morrison's and Sun Seven.
right,
And I mean, our showcase at Sun Seven last year was just
right,
man, it was off the chain
right,
last year. Like it was like the people from Medem stopped by there, and they were just blown away. You know what I mean? They were just blown
right,
away.
right, right.
It's just the way it went. You know what I mean? It's just one of those everything the stars lined up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
yeah, I wish I could say we had this. We did this. No, man, the stars just lined up. Okay.
right, right,
Sometimes it's better to
right,
be lucky
right.
than good.
True, true, yeah. Because I mean, to get on the damn stage, they charge them what, €10,000 to get on their stages, and it's all yeah,
Yeah,
it's expensive, and you know what? People can't afford that. They can't afford 10K euro to get on, to get on the damn stage. So when Alan can come in there and say, look, come and perform and do your thing, and Alan the OG man, he an OG.
oh yeah, I know he is.
Alan's Alan's the OG man, and because he don't make money from that. By the way, he don't make money from that
Right,
showcase. He don't make
right.
money, so it literally is one of those things where he just wanted to give people a platform to really come and have a good time and showcase their talent, man,
Yep, I
and
did one myself 2 years ago. No, last year. Last year I did one myself, as a matter of fact, and at Morrison's. And at the end of the day, the only requirement for my showcase was like everybody had the artist had to pitch in, so they had to pay a fee, but that was just to
yeah,
cover the back line. Okay,
right,
to make sure that we got the amps that everybody wants, the mics everybody wants. You need a keyboard, just to cover the back line. Okay, because
right,
I wasn't gonna, pitch in the back line, just all out of my pocket. I
right,
got the venue, I've got you the opportunity. You could at least pitch in for the equipment you're gonna use,
right,
and
right,
we did that. But going back to what you said, it wasn't a profit game. You know what I mean? It was just, hey, let's make sure we
yeah,
got everything covered so that everybody can have a good performance, and they did.
right,
It was a great showcase. Again, I wish I was there. I would have done it again this year. And last year was my first year doing my own showcase. Do always
yeah,
does something. The Canadians always do something, and I'm usually a
right,
part of those showcases as well. But last
right,
year was the
right.
first one that I put on, the whole production, and it went very well. It was very well received.
That's good.
In fact, we
That,
were told we could come back anytime and do it. So, you know,
that's good that there's opportunities for people to to get on one, they can invite the people that they've had business meetings with to come and watch them perform, and two, it's just an opportunity to at the end of the day have a good time, man. This is music. It should be fun.
absolutely,
At
brother,
the
absolutely.
end of the day,
Well,
we can
listen,
do
my
all the
man.
business.
It's been a good chat. You know what I'm saying? We could talk
Bro.
about this all day and all night. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
yeah,
I actually
yeah.
got to get back to some royalties.
Hey,
so,
man. Hey, I
but
appreciate you taking some time.
hey, man,
Appreciate you
anytime.
taking
You
some
already
time.
know, man. Link me up. You got, if you got any questions on publishing or anything like that, hit me up. If you got some artists that are looking for sync opportunities, let me know. Because we do representation on the sync, just sync licensing as well as publishing.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha.
so it doesn't always have to be a publishing deal. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And we've had some good placements. Sprite commercial with LeBron James.
No.
Uh, what you call it? The show that's on. Well, I don't know if it's still on, but it was on Showtime. Shut Up and Dribble. It was
Ah,
produced by LeBron James. Yeah, we've got music in
yeah.
that. We've got The
No.
Shy. A lot of Showtime stuff. The Shy on Showtime.
No. 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 No.
But as well as other things out there. Victoria's Secrets commercials, some things like this.
Very
So yeah, man. Always looking for new music to pitch. So
for sure.
hit me up. It's all about the
Actually,
network, brother.
hey, D, appreciate
So
it, man. Thank you for your time, man. Thank you so much.
absolutely, same to you, brother, and we'll be in touch. I'll
All
see you soon.
all right, man. Take
Peace.
care.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, that was fun, man. That was a good conversation. I see. Oh, my man Sam, my big bro LaShawn in the building. Sean, you here, bro? What's good? What's good? Always good to see the big homie on on the live. But yeah, for those of y'all who don't know, I was just kind of talking a little bit more about before we got into that conversation with Theo about just my partners over there in Korea with Sound Republica and opportunities to be heard in the Korean market. It's a lot of buying power there. People are actually buying music. 2017, I said this earlier, they generated over 200, I'm sorry, over $494.4 million in overall retail value there in the Korean market, guys. So there's money out there, there's buying power out there. So I'm excited about helping artists to get into that market, and that's what it's about. So YG Glock, are you still there? I don't know if you're there or not, but I know you're trying to get on before, but I hit you in the DMs for sure. But yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope everybody has a good night. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.